You're trying to get back with your ex at the moment, but you feel that it's leading nowhere. You're trying things, you don't get any response, or your ex is giving you mixed signals, is distant and cold. In this video, I'm gonna share with you what you should be doing if you feel that it's not working, whether you should give up, maybe it's the wrong approach, maybe it's the wrong methodology. In this video, I will share with you whether you should give up or whether you should fight to get back with your ex.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So first of all, you need to accept the uncertainty, and you might find online formulas and things that will guarantee for sure that you can get back with your ex. I'm obviously not from that school of thoughts, because I know how relationships, how people can be difficult because they are very secretive, they keep things to themselves, and we're always surprised in a good and in a bad way. And so understand this element of uncertainty, accept that there are things that you can't control and that you won't be able to know right away. And in this video, I will explain how to expand your circle of control and influence, because that's the only thing that you can do right now. You can't control your ex, you can't change your ex's mind right now. What you have to do is start from yourself, and I'll explain how you can influence that to decide and come up to a clear phase where is it yes, is it no? And if it's no, I will be able to move on because I've done the right steps, I've done the right things in order to rekindle the relationship in line with a respectful way, respecting myself, respecting my partner. So first of all, there is love and there's love. And so, of course, and I think a lot of relationships, they are not recoverable. So you need to measure around the sincerity, the depth of the relationship, the time up together, behaviors. And as I said, vast majorities of relationships cannot be saved. And if you're watching this video, perhaps you know deep inside that your relationship is different, right? I don't have any clients calling me, telling me like, oh yeah, I was with my ex for 3 weeks and we had a crush and she dumped me and I want to get her back. You know, usually it's people who have had like transformative and really deep relationship. However, sometimes there are cases where even though we feel we had a deep connection with someone, it's not necessarily a relationship that you can recover. So there's a quiz for you to know if you have any chance of getting back with your ex. And not only it will give you that answer, it will also give you, depending on your score, some tips and some guidance on what you should be doing depending on your situation. So should you actually get back together? So sometimes, and I know you don't want me to answer this question, but I'm asking the question anyway. Very often, and I see that as well, very often we fight because we lost something. It's a little bit when we are trying to catch a falling knife. You know, it's falling, it's like, oh, I need to catch it. Okay, we don't think about actually the relationship and what we gain from the relationship. Sometimes it's because the other took the decision that we try to rescue it. Maybe you were not happy in a relationship, but it's because they took the decision that now you start valuing the relationship more. So it's important to take some time to reflect properly. And not only with friends who would tell you, you know, forget him, forget her, you know, you'll find someone else. Reflect on your own, reflect objectively. You can call me if you want to get another pair of eyes, another objective way on an objective view on your situation. Ask yourself the question whether you're a good fit, were you really happy, what did they bring? Because sometimes we feel like, you know, it's hard to let go because I invested so much in the relationship. Yes, you invested so much in the relationship. What about them? What about them? And it's not about the amount of work, of effort that you put in the relationship that matters. It's also what they give. Because you don't want to be starting or reconsidering a relationship with someone where you don't feel equal in terms of the investment in the relationship. It's very important. And usually when it's very interesting that the people who invested the most usually have a harder time to let go because the loss because of the investment is harder. So here's what people do incorrectly when they want to get back with the ex. they stay friendly with their ex, and they feel like, I stay in touch with them so they don't forget me. I stay around so they don't have the temptation to find someone else. I'll be around, and this way, because of the line of communication, I can sort of seduce them. The problem is when you do that after a breakup, you create a form of habituation of like, okay, we're not together, we're in touch. I took the decision to end the relationship, and we're in touch. He or she seems okay with that. Therefore, because I took the decision to end the relationship, and that's what I wanted, I'm in a new situation, a new relationship with my ex that seems to be okay with me. And therefore, I have no incentive to change. I wanted to break up. I'm still in touch with my ex because we had something special and it's hard to let go. Why would I change? And that's the problem most people have, because they end up in this sort of phase, this sort of situationship, where, why would their ex change anything? Why would they feel the need to consider a new relationship if, they're happy with the, things they are like this? Should you give up? First step, inner work. And you have to tick all of those boxes. It's very important. First of all, no contact. And as we discussed, it's because we want to prevent the form of habituation where your ex will feel, okay, we're still friends and that's the way it is. But also, and more importantly, is to understand what needs to change and to start this work significantly. And that's why you can't do something like that in 2 days. You can't do something like that in 3 weeks. It's really about addressing those insecurities, understanding about, for example, your attachment style, understanding how you can communicate more effectively. Also, an element of grieving the relationship. The problem is that right after a relationship, we're still attached to the relationship. So it's very important to grieve the relationship. You have to let this relationship die. Your job is not to revive this relationship, is to create a new one with that partner. Step number 2 is to assess. Of course, sometimes we need to make the first step and try to initiate the conversation, for example, but it's very important to understand that it needs to be a dance. You have to gradually grow the interactions, grow the intimacy, but it's really important for you to assess whether you're the only one to build up those conversations, those interactions. I'm not talking about playing games here. We're not playing games. What we are doing is creating what we would call in attachment theory a secure base. Making sure that you respect their needs, making sure that you respect their boundaries, and growing, assessing whether it's going somewhere. My clients that I have on WhatsApp, for example, I guide them to really create, intimacy, slowly building up this intimacy by creating a secure base when their partner will feel like, okay, they're not trying to manipulate me, they're not trying to control me. I'm having a good time with that person. I'm remembering that she or he has those qualities that I loved. And by doing that, you are creating the conditions to sort of get more in depth in terms of intimacy and rekindle the love that you lost. It's very important for you to assess whether it's something that's mutual. So of course, there's always sometimes those mixed signals, and you have to deal with that and then explain what you have to do if you feel that there's no reciprocity in the effort that you're making. The step number 3 is to set a deadline. This is extremely important, and I think looking at all my clients, 6 months is a good time frame, because you don't want, so the reason you put that deadline is because you don't want to be dragging this forever. You don't want to be in that limbo of mixed signals for more than 6 months. You have to do it for yourself, your own respect. At the end of the day, you want to get back with someone who's able to fight, who's clear with their intention. And very often people tell me, yeah, but I feel like he's not sure. I feel like he needs to work on things. Fair enough. But you're doing the work. And in 6 months, I'm pretty sure that you've done massive amount of work. So what about them? what are they doing right now? If they are not sure, if they are like, it's too difficult, they are busy with work, come on. You need to be with someone who knows what they want, especially when it comes to deciding for their partner, and especially if it's you. It's very important for you to understand this. So understand that it might take more time to get back with your ex. It could take more than 6 months. And it doesn't matter if it takes more than 6 months, but it's very important to assess whether in those 6 months it's going somewhere, if you are progressing. If it's like this sort of limbo where you're trying to get something and you don't get anything, you see each other every now and then, but it's nothing substantial, then you have to decide, I need to let go. I need to stop. And in a way, you don't give up. Sometimes we feel that because it's painful, because I need to fight for it, there's a reward. It's very, very common for people, like, I know it's hard, and because it's hard, I need to really, giving up will be a sign of weakness, and I don't want to give up on this. You're not giving up on anything. You are letting go of something that's not working for you. You're breaking away from this dynamic, from that person who doesn't know what they want. They are maintaining this sort of limbo, they're insecure, maybe they're avoidant, they have had trauma in the past, and that's too bad for them, but that's not your role to fix them, to help them. That's not your role to suffer from their insecurities. You've done your part, you're more secure. If they don't know what they want, you are wasting your time. It's as simple as that. And you don't want someone who wastes your time. Right? It's very simple, but if you do that work through those 6 months, assessing, working on yourself, you realize very quickly that you don't want to be with someone who doesn't want you. If it's clear for you and it's not clear for them, you have to let go. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. And you're wasting your time on potential other opportunities. You're wasting your time because you don't feel like dating right now, because you still are attached to this person. So let go. Let go, because otherwise you're wasting your time.
Stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.